If anyone's curious afterwards, Google what's happening in Thailand. My country, she's bruised, nursing a cancerous thing, got a bad case of parasites hiding in high places. She bleeds in 3 colors, a collective screaming, first blue, cutting in sprays of that tense pseudo peacekeeping, you know, the high pressure water kind, then white, a flash of warning, a spark, a demand for coerced cooperation, and when none of these works, the final color on the palette of our flag, red, cut us open to stain the road maroon, because according to the dictatorship playbook, nothing shut people up like good old lynching, vocal cord cinching around the necks. The news channels will minimize this to a whistle. They will call protesters of all ages, students, children, and when they can't infantilize us, they villainize us, and when they can't villainize us, they brutalize us, which brings me back to, yes, the collective screaming, but you won't hear it because they cut the wires. You won't hear it the same way they did not want you to hear about all those other massacres buried deep in our motherland's belly, her soil force-fed with the bodies of the died too soon soul, wrapped in school uniform, dipped in red and punctured with bullet holes. To let the air out, it's how we cook our civilians. Bon appetit. Les majestes, coup d'etat. Excuse my French, just practicing my vocabularies, a Thai hegemonic tradition, the secret sauce to this damnation, the poison baked into our constitution. Thailand averages to 1 coup every 7 years. I'm 23, so I'm alive for 2. My mother is 50, so she's alive for 6. Will my daughter be alive for how many? Will I be alive? Not in the flesh and blood sense, but in the soul and will sense. Nothing grows in this fetid soil. I can feel the ribs of my ancestors in this shallow grave. Almost done, just give me a bit. They mixed up our memories and messed up the dates and mixed up our history and messed up our heads, our voices stolen, ransacked, and raped as they opened fire against unarmed bodies. Medical helpers stomped silent the barrel of a gun to quiet down the demands of those innocent. So please listen closely to the thrum of my city, to the bleeding of my country that reminds us to not go gentle into that good night, telling us that we must rage, rage, rage against the dying of the free as they mark us blue, then red with the paints of our own blood. Let this only remind us that Thailand was never meant to be a land of compromise, that the word Thai means free. So please be the witness of this generational injustice, the bastardization of collective consent, because my country, she's been bruised, raped for centuries by tyrants in uniforms, been nursing a cancerous thing, eaten away by parasites hiding in high places.